It's the home of the Cavaliers here in Cleveland, Ohio, as we bring you an interconference match here at the Quicken Loans Arena. I'd like to welcome you to the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan. Joining me, Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and courtside, Doris Burke. And the Spurs looking for a positive start here on their road trip. They've definitely started the season right with a hot start.
You know, for some teams, it takes a little time to get into a groove, to find the traction you need to start the season, but not for this squad. I mean, they've been playing like they have a chip on their shoulder. I like the edge I see out of them.
Yeah, I like it too. They're playing angry. I mean, they're really taking it at people, being aggressive, looking to attack right from the outset.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court right now for the Spurs. In the backcourt, Parker and Ginobili. Down low, it's Duncan and Splitter, and it's Leonard in at the 3 slot. Now here's Parker. Manu Ginobili unable to get his shot to go. Here's Duncan. Bank shot, no good. The Cavaliers on offense. It's a 3-point game, fresh from a win against the Nuggets.
And they made their mark defensively that day. That was what was, I think, most impressive. Really caused a lot of problems in the paint.
Well, they spent a lot of that game in the air and got their hands on a lot of shots. LeBron came into the league with a ton of talent and skill and hyper expectations, but he's done everything he can to hone and refine his game since his rookie year, and I think his climbing field goal percentage is an example of that.
And you look at his efficiency down low. LeBron has come a long way, Steve, from his rookie season when he shot just over 41%.
Well, it makes sense, Kevin. I mean, the post game is sort of the hardest thing to learn in the NBA, especially for a guy who didn't go to college. So LeBron has put in the time. He's become very efficient down on the block, and that allows him to space the floor around LeBron, which is just a nightmare to guard.
Last game for the Spurs, they picked up the W against the 76ers.
You know, so often in the NBA we talk about how you have to earn your points the hard way, but it didn't seem like that was the case. Everything came pretty easily.
Too many of their points came the easy way, Steve. You're right, on dunks and layups against a defense that didn't really put up much resistance.
And the dunk by Jackson.
Boy, extremely opportunistic defense leading to those points there.
That dunk, Clark, coming within seconds of the steal.
Love the way they convert from defense to offense.
But that's what happens when you get all 5 guys on a string defensively ready to react and make a play.
Here's Leonard following the score by Cleveland. Duncan buries it down low.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Cleveland's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. The drive by Jackson. Duncan with the block. Here in the first quarter with about 2 minutes gone by. Here's Leonard. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Kawhi Leonard has been talked about and mentioned as the future of this San Antonio Spurs team. 23 years old is all he is, and already a great defender and a much improved shooter from his days at San Diego State.
And for Kawhi Leonard, we know about his defense, but you think, Steve, he can become a go-to offensive player?
Well, he's going to need to, Kevin. When Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan move on, this is going to be Kawhi Leonard's team. And I thought what was interesting was the Spurs gave him more of a burden last year offensively. They started to give him more and more looks isolation-wise down on the block. And he's developed at a beautiful rate. He's coming into his own.
11 seconds on the shot.
Leonard with the steal. And Ginobili with a clear path to the rack. Hammers it down off the coast-to-coast break.
Terrible transition defense there.
I think it would have been pointless, Steve. There was no way anybody was beating him to the basket there.
Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Jackson dishes to James. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. 8 points for LeBron.
Looks like he might be on his game today, Clark.
Parker against Irving. Parker kicks to Duncan. Shoots from the baseline. And too long on the shot.
Even though he missed it, he couldn't pass up that chance.
Yeah, that's an easy jump shot. You got to take that one.
And they double up James. Puts up a 3. And Splitter pulls it down. Spurs trail by 4. Let's catch up with Doris.
Oh, get it! Oh, watch out now.
Wow, we're going to remember that one for a while.
I know I will, Kevin. That was special.
Oh, man, that was a circus dunk.
Now here's Jackson, coming off a solid outing against Denver. Another miss by LeBron. And now the fast break, Ginobili with the ball. And Leonard gets it to go. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. Ginobili with the steal. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Parker with no one around, and the go-ahead bucket, no good. Cavaliers have gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. They get the rebound.
Using his strength nicely there to ensure the rebound. Good work.
Leonard attacking.
Manu Ginobili has always been one of my favorite guys to watch and an elite shooting guard on the court. I mean, the issue with him has been health. You know, last season he missed about a month with a tweaked hamstring, right as the Spurs went on their rodeo road trip.
Cavaliers making a switch here. Shumpert's checked in.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
San Antonio trailing here. Parker outside. Outside Leonard. Dishes it to Ginobili. He kicks it to Splitter. Cannot hit. Nice D from Verejao. The Cavaliers have gone 4 for 9 from the field to start this game off. LeBron shot is off.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys, but as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
Ginobili the pass to Parker. From 12 feet out, buries the jump shot.
And he should thank the defense for those 2 points. Really, nobody paid him any mind there.
So timeout called here, the first for Cleveland.
Tony Parker, I don't think there's any question the best player ever to come out of France. In fact, back in the summer of 2013, he led France to the Euro Cup championship in Slovenia. Just a terrific performance there from Parker.
Mozgov, he's checked in for Anderson Verejao. Well, defense is a big part of these players' games as the top shot blockers among small forwards this season. 4th, LeBron James.
And that's a group of perhaps the most well-rounded defenders in the league. Solid on the perimeter with the ability to block shots on the inside.
And that's the ideal makeup of a wing defender. The perimeter defense is really a requirement. I mean, you've got to be able to do that, but if you can also block shots like these guys can, you become even more valuable. France has really produced some quality NBA players. You think about Boris Diaw, Nick Batum. Batum actually carried France in that title game against Lithuania.
And for Boris Diaw and Parker, they grew up together and they'd won a gold medal together in the U18 European Championships.
And for 13 years, they've tried to get that second gold medal. But I'll tell you, the quality of play around the world, Kevin, just continues to get tougher and tougher. And France definitely in that upper echelon.
2 on the clock. Here's Ginobili. Kicks it out to Leonard. Duncan outside. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Duncan's got his second bucket tonight.
And these two teams continuing to trade blows like heavyweights in the middle of the ring.
So many times tonight, the energy in this building has gone from one way to the other.
No good from Irving.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's a physical game, and so far the numbers show that they've got the edge on the glass.
Now here's Ginobili. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Philadelphia.
And when you talk about his scoring, Kevin, I mean, with the defense trying to pressure him, I thought he did a really nice job of getting them to overcommit. And you know, that's how he got himself to the free throw line. Well, you talk about the elite point guards in the NBA. A lot of times Tony Parker's name gets overlooked. You know, something about playing in San Antonio seems to keep you off the radar, but make no mistake, Parker is a true star and, most importantly, a proven winner.
Smith checked in for Cleveland. Matthew Dellavedova comes in for Kyrie Irving. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Boris Diaz checked in for Splitter. Matt Bonner comes in for Tim Duncan. Bellinelli, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili. Mills, he's checked in for the Spurs. Poked away, and it's out of bounds. The Cavaliers able to retain possession here. And Parker Clark, a 6-time All-Star, 3-time NBA champion, heavily decorated player.
Yeah, he really is, and he's shooting to become the Spurs' first 20-year guy. Now, how crazy would that be? I mean, he came to the Spurs at 19, so he's got an outside chance at it. He says his body feels great.
Yep.
The way Pop manages minutes for his guys, he thinks he can play at a high level for a long time. That'll be fun to watch to see if it happens that way.
Good story, you're right.
Yeah.
The Cavaliers trail by 5. Dellavedova dishes to LeBron. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Dellavedova. And that's 13 points for LeBron.
Well, his scoring this quarter has been off the charts, and the complexion of the game as a result may change.
And Mills kicks to Green. He feeds it to Mills. For 3. And that one's good. And the Spurs lead by 5.
Oh, the rapid-fire threes coming from everywhere.
I thought it might be a little imprudent to try to get those points right back, but it worked.
Wow, we're going to remember that one for a while.
I know I will, Kevin. That was special.
Oh, man, that was a circus dunk.
Pass to Bonner. The dish to Bellinelli. That is good. Bellinelli's got his second bucket.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
And even if it costs them some foul trouble, I mean, they need to start putting some bodies on bodies. Be physical.
And it's Dellavedova missing.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, he had a really good look. I mean, he'll knock that down more often than not.
Here's Mills. An 11-point game for him in the win against Philadelphia.
Yeah, he picked his spots in that game, too, Kevin, because I thought he not only did a nice job scoring, but setting up his teammates as well.
Timeout called, Cleveland.
Well, you watch the Spurs and see how versatile they are, unselfishly finding the open guy, and they can be surgical at times in their precision. It's not a surprise that they dominated the Eastern Conference last year and year to year here recently.
Here's Bellinelli. His last outing, 16 points for him. And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for San Antonio.
Boy, their frenetic defense has really been impressive, putting a lot of pressure on ball handlers and turning them over.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers. Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
But there was some style there, Kev. It was a pretty sweet one-handed flush.
The Cavaliers trail by 8. The feed to Dellavedova. Kicks to Mozgov. Cleveland moving it around, and he gets it to go. And that's now 19 points for LeBron.
Got a lot of momentum going with his own game. He's been great today and just as hot as he was last time out.
3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Mills with it. He's got 6. Diao, the pass to Bonner. Smith with the defensive effort. Dellavedova kicks to LeBron. 4 seconds left. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Dellavedova. And now it's just a 4-point San Antonio lead. The shot is off. A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. It's San Antonio up by 4. And we'll get things started in the second quarter when we return. Quarter just getting set to start. And taking a look at San Antonio's performance here, Clark and Steve. What have they been doing or not doing?
Pretty good start defensively. This club forced some mistakes and took advantage, and that's how they built this lead.
And they've built the lead because not only have they forced turnovers, but they've taken care of the ball themselves. So that's a winning combination.
San Antonio leading by 4. On the court right now for the Spurs. Leonard and Duncan are the pair at forward. Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And it's Diao in at the 5 spot. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
Well, Tim Duncan, when asked about his retirement plans right after the 2013 finals, refused to dignify the question with the response. But last season's Spurs run answered loudly enough.
And for Duncan and the Spurs, year after year, people write them off. And, Steve, they keep proving them wrong.
It's incredible. I mean, I think I wrote them off 4 years ago, and here they are continuing to just be an elite team in the NBA. And Duncan, one of the big reasons for it. He seems to get better and better, and he loves the game. He continues to stay in great shape and compete. Who knows how long he'll go.
Spurs shooting it very well tonight, around 57%. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Well, they already had him staggered, and now all of a sudden they're throwing some haymakers.
Now, here's Diaw, guarded by Shumpert. Diaw can't hit.
And they forced the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Well, guys, Kyrie Irving, the #1 pick overall back in 2011, a player who promised himself he'd play in the NBA when he was just in the 4th grade. He said that came from his father. Confidence, confidence, confidence. That's all my dad preached. He'd always tell me, Kyrie, you could be this, you could be that. My dad had more belief in me than I had in myself. Gentlemen.
You know, it helps having people boosting you up, Doris. Thanks. Anderson Varejau's checked in for the Cavaliers. Miller comes in for Shumpert.
Anderson Varejao.
Here's Jackson. Second quarter of basketball, about 1 minute played so far.
Tremendous speed there from Miller. Great awareness.
Brian.
San Antonio leading by 4. Parker outside. Over in the corner, Green. Back to Parker. Here's Leonard. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Parker's got 3 assists in the game. Cleveland's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Irving, good.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on it.
For San Antonio, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field here to open the second quarter. Parker kicks to Leonard. Here's Green. Good D by Irving. The Cavaliers trail by 5. And it's Miller penetrating. Diaw with the steal. Parker up top. He's covered by Irving. Duncan with the screen for Parker. Duncan up on top. Back to Parker. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely. Parker's got his 3rd basket of the night. Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Leonard with the steal. In transition, here come the Spurs. Leonard with the ball.
Yeah, nice fast break from start to finish, guys.
Especially on the back end. I mean, he polished it off perfectly.
The Cavaliers shooting has been great, up over 50%. In fact, 52%. And a wide open look for Irving. Misses the 3.
Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, last season's coach of the year, one of only 3 coaches to win that award 3 times. He's also a 5-time NBA champion as a head coach and really has been the model for consistency and excellence as a head coach, as a leader of his team in San Antonio. They've won 50 games, 15 consecutive years now, and clearly players are a big part of that, but his leadership and his ability to relate to his team and to get them to be a team is something that will send him right to the Hall of Fame when he's eligible.
And the Cavaliers call time here. And Popovich, the longest tenured NBA coach by far, 18 seasons, and Steve all with this San Antonio organization.
Well, he's actually the longest tenured coach in any of the 4 major American sports. And man, what an incredible run he's had with the Spurs, leading them to a winning record in 17 consecutive seasons. Longest such streak in NBA history.
A different look now for Cleveland. LeBron, he's checked in for Marion. James Jones comes in for Miller, and Harris subbed in for Irving. Splitters checked in for San Antonio. Ginobili comes in for Daniel Green. San Antonio leading by 11. Here in the second quarter, just under 3.5 minutes played. Leonard, no luck. Cleveland's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Jones with it. Leonard picks him up. Jackson. And another miss by Cleveland.
I like the defense, guys, really getting a hand up and challenging shots.
Yeah, Steve, lurking on that shot, and that was a tough one.
Ginobili dishes to Duncan. The pass to Leonard. The tray. And it's Leonard again missing. The Cavaliers trail by 11. Pass to Verjao. Parker with the steal. He dishes it to Ginobili. Feeds it to Leonard. The Spurs working the ball around now. Splitter kicks to Leonard. A second chance effort. And Duncan gets it to go in. Duncan's got 4 points in the quarter.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep getting in the paint and keep scoring points. Keep it going.
Yeah, not a lot you can do defensively when they continue to get the ball inside and get these easy shots. Now let's see if that triggers another explosion from, remember, he had 3 3-pointers in the first quarter.
Ginobili the pass to Splitter. Dishes it to Parker. LeBron against Duncan. Splitter kicks to Leonard. 6 to shoot. Parker against Harris. Parker's shot is off.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. We're lucky he couldn't punish them for it. Reverse that one home. Now that was nice, real nice.
The agility on display.
Yeah, you love that body control. Oof.
Oh, that one had it all, guys. Power and grace. Just beautiful.
And so it's San Antonio with it. The Cavaliers making the shot. Duncan outside. Passes to Parker. That's good, and so Duncan with the assist. And that's 12 points for Tony Parker.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the lead.
Well, Tim Duncan, in a lot of ways, the epitome of Steve's substance over style.
Yeah, no doubt, Kevin, both in terms of his game and his personality. He's just a winner and a leader, but he does it in such a quiet fashion that sometimes people forget to take notice.
Here's Parker after Cleveland got the three-pointer. And then Leonard with the dunk.
I think they gave him a little too much room there. I mean, that was all he needed to rise up and punch that one down.
Yeah, he's going to jump at those chances, guys.
Yeah, that's what he does. He is a high flyer.
Now here's James. He had a 39-point outing in their last game against Denver.
This quarter has not been his best. The defense may be starting to affect him a little bit.
It's Ginobili on the wing. Guarded by Jackson. Here's Duncan. Uses the glass to finish the layup. And now an 11-point Spurs lead.
It was a slow start for him, but he started to take off since we hit the second quarter, guys.
James with it, picked up by Ginobili. Puts up a three. James, no good. San Antonio's gone 1 of 4 from three-point range in the second. Not a whole lot dropping out there for them. Offensive rebound. Duncan laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Duncan's got the lead up to 13 now for the Spurs.
He's just going to punish you on the glass, and it's pretty deflating right now when you're trailing and you continue to give up second chance baskets.
Harris dishes to Jackson. This one for three. Rebound San Antonio. This their first chance this season playing the Cavaliers.
Last season they had a very easy time with this club, and of course being East versus West, they only got to face them twice, but I'm sure they wish they had them on the schedule more often.
Now here's Parker. Ginobili kicks to Parker from outside the arc. The shot no good, so Cleveland will take it the other way. LeBron outside. From past the arc. It's hauled in by Ginobili. Steve was talking before we got into that little segment there about playing them more, and it was 2 games last year, 2 wins. It's probably a safe assumption they've got a lot of confidence heading into this first meeting, Clark, this year.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they appear to be at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of talent, but nothing's ever a sure thing, Kevin. That's why we play the games.
I like that. Good.
Every time it gets scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Now, you got to make a defensive adjustment here, Clark. Time to collapse inside, force the ball back out on the perimeter, make them beat you from long range.
Spurs leading by 13. Parker outside. He kicks to Splitter. And he bangs it home with one hand. Well, Clark, a clear lane to the basket and the emphatic jam.
And that is outstanding attacking basketball.
Well, he had no choice but to take that one to the bucket.
Here's Jackson. Drops in the tray. Jackson's got 11 points.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
Jackson.
Ginobili the pass to Splitter. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili.
That's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle much more effectively.
Yeah, and until they do, the problems inside are only going to get worse.
Outside Leonard. And the foul called on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's Mills. And so we wrap up the first half. Spurs lead by 14. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Tony, you guys have seemed to be in a good groove lately. Taking a broader look at the season, what's important for this team to have success this year?
To stay healthy. I like our chances this year. Our young guys got a lot of experience, and we play good basketball right now, so hopefully we can stay healthy and play good at the end of the season.
Tony, thank you as always. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Doris, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back in there for the start of the third quarter after this break. And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. What can you say, LeBron James? What an impressive effort today.
Boy, you wonder how long he can continue to shoot the three ball as well as he has to this point. He's been lights out.
Steve, you know that as well as anyone, being the shooter you were. Sometimes you have those nights where the bucket looks 3 feet wide.
LeBron James is out there with Marion. Then there's Jackson. Then there's Anderson Varejao. And it's Irving in at the point guard position. That's the 5 for Cleveland right now. Clock is at 3. Leonard with no one around. Misses off the left iron. Everything appeared to be lined up for Cleveland to get back into playoffs last year, but that just wasn't the case. A lot of what-ifs for them last season.
And with another top pick on the roster, Kevin, and a youthful team, they were a popular pick before the season to play postseason games, but they still needed some seasoning.
A nice shot by Irving. Spurs leading by 11. Parker outside. He feeds it to Leonard. In the corner, it's Ginobili. And they come right back with their own three-pointer. Ginobili's got 6.
Incredible. Only took them a few seconds to answer the three ball with one of their own.
Let's keep this thing going, guys. I love seeing a three-point battle like this.
And it's James missing. The Spurs shooting has been fun to watch in this game. They're at 57%. And Parker, here we go, makes it off the glass. He's got 14.
Part of this interior collapse we've seen defensively is the reason they've struggled, and they're trailing by so much.
Irving dishes to LeBron. Back to Irving. Jackson kicks to Irving. Some nice passing by Cleveland here. And he gets it to go. 30 points for LeBron.
Tell you what, he's had an excellent game, and they're going to have to continue to rely on him if they're going to come back.
Parker drives in. Knocks it loose. Splitter passes to Parker. No one near him. And another basket for San Antonio.
He is setting this place on fire, fellas. This shooting has been off the charts.
Well, as usual, a lot of offense in the NBA is being generated from the small forward position this season. Here are the league's best at that position. LeBron James, number 1.
Well, slasher, scorer, call him whatever you want, but the bottom line is he can tear the rest of the NBA to shreds when he gets going.
That's exactly right. I mean, he's the number 1 guy you have to account for when you take them on. I mean, he's the primary guy in the scouting report. Even if you can't stop him, you've got to try to make him work for his opportunity.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, Spurs coach Greg Popovich is so highly respected by his peers. Thunder coach Scott Brooks said there are 3 things you can count on: death, taxes, and Pop winning 50 games. Dallas coach Rick Carlisle called him, quote, the best coach in any sport ever and the smartest man in the history of the world. Kevin, he wasn't joking.
High praise indeed. Thank you, Doris. Now here's Parker following the miss by Kyrie Irving. And it's good. Fought through contact. It's the shot. He'll go to the free throw line. It's going to be Parker shooting. It's going to be on Kyrie Irving. The Spurs have shot 5 of 8 from the foul line.
Well, pretty good numbers this season at the line for this club, right around 78% as a team.
And this year, they haven't quite been able to maintain the free throw percentage they had last season.
Cleveland shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight.
Well, this is a club that shot 75% as a team from the free throw line last season.
Yeah, guys, they can feel very good about themselves when you bring up those statistics. Impressive numbers.
Clark, you think of how much success the Spurs have had, and it's almost as if they can plug anyone in, and they are immediately on the same page and working as a unit.
Well, they make it look easy, but there's a lot of work that goes into that. They evaluate the players they bring in, wanting to fit them into a culture that already exists, and continuity and consistency you get from the top down. Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan, and you've got those guys in place. Then you throw in Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. Now you've got a group that you can win with for a long time, and they've done just that.
And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls. Irving's got 5 points now in the quarter. Spurs leading by 16. Ginobili dishes to Duncan. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Pass to Leonard. Back to Ginobili. Shot clock at 6. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
It is with the Spurs, as you said, a matter of anyone wearing their uniform has a complete understanding of what they need to do on offense or defense to win.
And you know, with the Spurs, I remember games last year where their stars were out or being rested, and they would still win games because of the strength of their reserves. And they didn't have to make adjustments as they marched through the playoffs. They basically kept on keeping on, doing what they had done all season.
Here's Parker. The Cavaliers making the shot. Ginobili with a screen on Irving. There's a good screen. Duncan with it. And it's Marion picking him up. Leonard kicks to Duncan. There's the dish to Parker. He's feeling it. And it falls over the rim and in. Parker's got 21 in the game.
Impeccable mechanics this quarter. He's been perfect from the field.
To the middle, here's James, and good on the basket. Book it.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Mozgov, he's checked in for Cleveland. Then for the Spurs, Boris Diaz checked in for Splitter. And it's Green in for Manu Ginobili. Now, here's Green. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. And Diaw kicks to Parker. It's good. The assist that time from Diaw.
This switch has definitely been flipped to on this quarter, guys.
The Cavaliers trail by 16. Now the feed to Mozgov. And on the way from Irving for 3. The Cavaliers again can't hit. Spurs have gone 6 of 8 on field goal attempts in the third. A 75% clip. Cleveland's gone 2 of 5 with the 3-point shot since coming out of the break. It's blocked. And here comes Leonard leading the fast break. Kicks it to Green. And now the Cavaliers. Fast break.
It's still early on in this new basketball season for San Antonio. And here's where they sit in the NBA rankings. Second in field goal percentage. Second in opponent points per game. And they also show up as a team in the top 5 in scoring. Boy, this team is balanced and versatile offensively.
Well, let's talk about the shooting for a second, Clark, because you look at that number. That's impressive. And that's a direct result of having a game plan every night, being well coached, disciplined, and really working hard and being unselfish in order to get good shots. Patty Mills last season had his best season ever. Really remade his body in the offseason, adding muscle, cutting down on his body fat. Already one of the quickest players in the league. He got even quicker.
Matthew Dellavedova has checked in for Jackson. And Mills getting quality minutes at the backup point guard position.
Yeah, and for a player who spent time in the D-League, playing in China and his native Australia, it seems he's really solidified his place as an NBA player, Kevin, in part because he refocused on conditioning his body and really developed as an outside shooter, too.
And Cleveland making a change here. Smith has checked in. Bellinelli gets the bucket. Bellinelli's got 8 points.
Boy, he picked him out brilliantly with that feed inside.
Dellavedova kicks to Smith. It's deflected. Takes a three. Great D that time from Green. San Antonio leading by 18. And he takes it in for the layup off a very nice feed.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
Smith kicks to James. 16 feet away. San Antonio with the rebound. Diaw's got his 3rd rebound on the night.
You've got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboards.
Well, they've done a lot of things right, but I agree with you, Clark. Their rebounding is right there at the top of the list.
Bonner for 3. Cavaliers with the rebound. And it's Shumpert penetrating. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. Kyrie Irving's checked in for the Cavaliers. And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Spurs.
From mid-range, it's been a very nice game for them. I mean, they've been finding the bottom of the net a lot.
And then look at the points in the paint, because they're really winning that battle tonight.
Patty Mills is one of the first indigenous Australians to play in the NBA. Trained at the same Australian Institute of Sport that helped develop Andrew Bogut. He played his college ball at St. Mary's in the Bay Area and has really developed into a nice backup point guard.
Irving from long range. Can't hit. And the Spurs going the other way now. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Here's Diaw. Uses the glass to finish the layup. And the Spurs lead by 21.
They're straying away from the three-point game here in the second half. And that's fine as long as they're on the lead and they're getting good shots. They've decided not to take nearly as many three-pointers in this half. Well, you know, he's not a guy that's just going to settle for pulling up. When he has an opportunity, he's going to take it strong to the hoop.
And Mills kicks to Diaw. Here's James. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. 37 points for LeBron.
Boy, the floor really opened up for him there.
It sure did. A good job getting it started before the defense can get itself set.
The 3 from Mills, and that one's good. Mills has got 13 points.
He's not going to miss many of those, if any. Not when he's got that much room.
Now here's James. He's guarded closely. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good.
And in the paint, they have really shown some strength. Their work on the boards has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd certainly call it a mismatch, Steve, at least for today.
Jacks up a 3. Mills can't hit. The Cavaliers trail by 20. Mozgov kicks to LeBron from the arc. Kept alive. Shumpert passes to Smith. 1 second separating the shot clock and game clock. And that's out of bounds. Cleveland will retain possession.
Yeah, so close to picking that pass off, guys.
At least he got a hand on it. He did what he needed to do to make sure it didn't hit the target.
Sean Marion, he's checked in for Cleveland. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Splitter's checked in. Down low. Here's Bellinelli. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Bellinelli's got 10.
Good job creating an easy bucket there.
Nobody near Irving. And he hits the jumper for 2. And at the end of the third quarter, a huge lead in this one may already have been decided. It's San Antonio delivering the blowout. We'll take a quick break, then get you back to the action. The Cavaliers trail by 20. On the floor for San Antonio, Mills and Manu at the guards. Boris Diaw is out there with Splitter, and it's Green in at the 3, the small forward. Here's Mills. Well, Clark, the NBA becoming more up-tempo, more wide open over the last decade or so. Last season, the league average pace was the fastest it's been in over 2 decades.
And I think fans and broadcasters enjoy seeing the guys play at that pace. You know, you go back to 2001, allowing zone defenses for the first time in the NBA. In 2003, eliminating 2 hand checks on the perimeter. I think those 2 changes made a significant difference.
It's a good thing he showed up today, because without him, this team would be in big trouble.
It's Ginobili with the drive. Wasted no time on that shot, but it's off the mark. Well, the Cavaliers shooting pretty well at 46% from the floor. Irving with a clean look. The three-pointer no good.
And you think back to basketball around the turn of the century, scoring was grinding down. In fact, back in '99, the league averaged 91 points per game. Last season, it was 101 per game. So I think it's made for a more entertaining game, and from a rating standpoint, the fans agree.
And he gets the bucket.
And they're making a statement here, guys, going inside for 8 of their last 10 points.
Time to man up on D and stop these free runs to the rim.
Mills with it, guarded now by Irving. Diaw, the screen. Ginobili against Marion. Mills, that's a 2-pointer. Here's Splitter, and they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play.
Physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. That plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, not to mention what it says on the scoreboard. I mean, they're really pushing them around physically at this point.
Mike Miller's checked in for Shumpert. San Antonio also making some changes. Tim Duncan, he's checked in for Diaw. Leonard comes in for Green, and Parker's subbed in for Patty Mills.
And you talk about the more free-flowing style we've seen emerge. I think the league is eager to continue that. The game of basketball is a game of movement and rhythm and spacing. For example, as scoring has gone up, fouls and free throws have declined somewhat over the last couple of years. And I really do believe that's good for the league, good for the game of basketball, because what happens at the pro level often trickles down to college and high school. Reducing those dead ball situations keeps the game moving, and it's a game of movement. Boy, some would like to give Kyrie Irving the injury-prone label. I'm not sure if that's fair. Although in his first 3 seasons, he has yet to stay healthy start to finish.
Now here's Parker. Manu Ginobili on the wing, guarded by Jackson. Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation.
A lot of things get talked about with the NBA and the playoff structure. And, there's been some mention about opening things up in the near future. One thought is to have more teams make it in and have a play-in round between the bottom teams.
We're in the 4th quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. Splitter, rebounded by Jackson. Jackson's got 6 rebounds now in the game. There's the pass to Irving. The tray, and the shot is good. Well, Clark, addressing playoff restructuring, we know now that 8 come in from the East and 8 teams, the top teams in the West. Another change being thrown around is just taking the top 16 teams from both conferences combined and seeding them.
Don't like it. Don't like it. We tend to overreact when we have an aberration. It's fun. The Suns don't get in the playoffs with 48 wins, and 2 or 3 Eastern Conference teams get in sub 500, and now you want to shake it all up. I'm not for that. The top 8 in the West and the top 8 in the East make a lot of sense to me, because it would be a scheduling nightmare otherwise if you try to
keep it as is.
And in terms of trying to have a balanced schedule,
yes,
when you go to just the top 16 teams, it wouldn't work. Geographically, I just don't think it makes sense. We got to stay where we are there.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. James is checked in. It's blocked. And now the Cavaliers. Fast break. Irving's got the ball.
Oh, ridiculous. Tore it down that time. Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how, Clark. Brilliant throwdown.
Yeah, just exerting his authority out there.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
The Cavs were an all-out mess last year, and a lot of that was because of their depth. They just did not have the punch off the bench to keep leads or bring them back into games.
And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Greg Popovich coaching his team during that last break. He wants to make sure they stay assertive and aggressive on the offensive end, saying, I don't want to sit on this lead. Let's build on it and not give them a chance of coming back. Guys?
San Antonio again missing.
And with the Cavs, their score differential for their reserves really tells the story. Just way too many points given away when that second unit came onto the floor. It was something they needed to address in the offseason, and they did.
His presence is very comforting for this team. He's kind of a fallback option for them anytime they need it.
Ginobili kicks to Parker. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. Ginobili's got 3 assists now in this one. And for the Cavs, depth certainly won't be an issue this time around. A lot of changes and growth for them, resulting in a much deeper and talented roster.
And, you know, Kevin, people still underestimate the importance of having a strong bench. The Cavs really struggled with that last year, but with LeBron starting and pushing former starters to the bench, they'll be in a much stronger position. Reverse that one home. Now that was nice, real nice.
The agility on display.
Yeah, you love that body control. Oof.
Oh, that one had it all, guys. Power and grace. Just beautiful.
Duncan dishes to Parker. Back to Duncan. Ginobili the pass to Splitter. Shot clock at 6. Out to Parker. A floater. He takes it up and lays it in. Parker's got 4 points this quarter.
Yeah, not just an everyday finish. He put a little pizzazz on that one, guys.
LeBron, that's a 2-pointer. Irving kicks to James. Leonard with the steal. It's Ginobili with the drive, and that one's good. And the Spurs lead by 15.
Virtually uncontested. It's nice to be able to add to the lead without really having to work for it.
Jackson kicks to Marion. Cleveland moving it around. The 3. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Anderson Varejao. That'll be his second foul of the game. Spurs leading by 15. Parker left side. Ginobili with the ball. Guarded now by Jackson. Parker against Irving. And that one's good. That's 29 points for Parker.
Great second half. I mean, he came out of that locker room ready to play.
For Cleveland, they've gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter.
Kyrie Irving, clearly a player who's dreamed of greatness from a very young age. Going back to the 4th grade, he wrote, I'm going to the NBA, and he wrote it across the back wall of his closet. And while it was hidden behind his clothes, it certainly wasn't far from his head or his heart.
And Irving still wanted to write down goals. He used to write them in a notebook he still keeps. Now he'll write them down in his phone. All part of setting his sights high and dreaming big.
Now here's Duncan. Back to Parker. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And for Irving, just like those words in the back of his closet stayed hidden, his great talent stayed hidden for a long time as well.
Yeah, it didn't really dominate until his senior year of high school, Kevin. Only 11 games he played at Duke. It might seem he was an overnight sensation in the NBA, but in truth, he spent a lifetime laying the foundation for his game.
Got to give him a lot of credit for the way he's played personally, trying to bring his team back.
Parker kicks to Duncan. Pass to Splitter. He dishes it to Parker. Leonard on the wing. Wants to get it to Duncan, and does. No good. The Cavaliers trail by 16. Varejao passes to LeBron. And they double up Jackson. Rebounded by the Spurs. Duncan's got rebound number 11 for him here tonight. Parker with it. He's picked up by Irving. Duncan dishes to Parker. Shot's good. Parker's got 10 points in the quarter.
Shaky defense down low again. It's been a mismatch in the paint.
I'm sure they didn't go into this one expecting to get battered like they have inside.
Jackson, that's good.
Second three-pointer of the half, fourth overall. So he's having a nice game from outside.
Parker left side. Ginobili outside. 1:21 left in the fourth quarter. And that one's good. Parker.
And this is what they wanted, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority. Very decisive. And I think it can be considered a statement win for San Antonio.
And Clark, we got to see a display of offensive prowess in this one that got it done. High-scoring game.
Well, basket after basket, they were in attack mode all game long.
And an important milestone for them tonight as they pick up win number 10.
And I think this win builds confidence for this year in the matchup. They take the first win of the season series, and that could play a factor the next time these two teams meet.
And that next meeting will be their second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conferences. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a two-game season series. So I think the next game will be hotly contested.
You look at the stats and you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Parker. Every inch of the floor was his tonight as he came out and injected energy into every play that was made out there.
Good.
Well, guys, tonight they came in here and really dictated the terms of the engagement, which is very difficult to do as the visitors.
You're right. That's not usually the way things work in the NBA. It's a great win, and no question, it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here.
The Spurs have gone 8 of 16 from the field in the fourth, exactly 50%. The clock now can just run out for the Spurs. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. Not much to be critical of with this win, Clark.
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play, they showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Thanks, Kev. LeBron, things turned around in that second half. What was the difference?
Started playing defense, started getting stops, and we got to the free throw line, started being aggressive. We made a couple outside threes as well to open up the paint. Did a good job once we got done.
All phases of the game coming together for you, LeBron. Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you, Doris, for that. And now for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan saying see you next time as we present our Jordan Player of the Game, Tony Parker.